So, according to Joe Sheehan, the best comp for Scooter Gennett, he says 2 players hit 4 homers in the 1800s. One of them is Ed Delahanty, an 1890s star, most famous today for his drinking and for dying when, after being kicked off a train in 1903, he fell to his death in Niagara Falls.
That's quite the death. The imagery of it is awesome. You see a guy hanging off the back of the train.
Right.
You just put your
He
foot
was an
on.
alcoholic when he was 17 years old.
Well,
And he said he just couldn't stop.
what do you want me to do?
Goldsmith 2 for 3.
Right, pick it up from there.
Yeah.
So
Well, thank you for that.
I'm just picturing a dude hanging off the back of the train, and for his dear life, he's hammered drunk, and somebody's like, nobody's going to notice if old Ed Delahanty takes a spill here.
No tickets.
No ticket. Kicks him off the train.
Get off my train.
and then you become the death machine.
Train machine.
He fell from the train into the Niagara Falls.
That's not what it says. Let me read this again. And this is the secret reason why I even bring this up. I love baseball. This is why I love baseball. It says one comp, Ed Delahanty, an 1890s star, most famous today for his drinking and for dying when, after being kicked off a train in 1903, he fell to his death in Niagara Falls. Now, it doesn't necessarily say that he was kicked off the train and shoved into the Niagara River.
That's a hell of a kick.
He was kicked. He was told to leave the train.
And then he might have left the train
and fell.
And he could have driven halfway across the country to go to Niagara Falls at that point. Like, screw it, I'm going to Niagara Falls.
He was in Mississippi when he got kicked off the train.
And by the way this is written, it's not as if they were just... You're picturing a trestle going along the raging Niagara River, right? And then he's just sort of hanging on.
He takes an Uber. He takes an Uber to Niagara Falls. He's like, you know what? I'm done with this.
Forget it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so the other is Bobby Lowe, the first player to ever hit 4 homers in a game on May 30th, 1894. We don't have the game logs for the 1890s.
The pre-brother era.
So Lowe came into that season with 25 career homers. He's the holder of the all-time record for fewest homers at the time of his 4-homer game. And like Gennett, a second baseman of middling accomplishment, 28 at the time of his feet. Gennett's 27, 5'10". Unlike Gennett, who looks like a twig, but is listed at 185. Lowe is listed at 150. It says evolution, baby. And the comps end there. Gennett's on a path that will turn him into a journeyman. Lowe was the second baseman for the Boston Bean Eaters for 12 years. So more similarities than differences. The first player to hit 4 homers in a game was a 5'10" second baseman who wasn't known for power, and the last player to hit 4 homers in a game is a 5'10" second baseman who isn't known for power. But I'm still hung up on Ed Delahanty.
And former score producer who used to take over the overnights and do pirate radio.
Wait a sec. Oh, hold on. This is according to Wikipedia.
What's up?
And Delahanty was elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1945.
Doesn't surprise me.
He died falling into Niagara Falls or Niagara River after being kicked off of a train while intoxicated.
But does it say that the train
You see why he got kicked off the train? Does that story show why?
Well, let me hear. Lake or death. All right, hold
Kneel
on.
during the national anthem.
Okay.
Wasn't speaking baseball language.
Jerry Remy kicked his ass off the train.
You know baseball language? No. Right? You're too drunk to speak baseball language. You know you're a redneck. Okay. Delahanty died when he was swept over Niagara Falls in early July 1903. He was apparently kicked off a train by the train's conductor for being drunk and disorderly.
Okay.
The conductor said Delahanty was brandishing a straight razor and threatening passengers.
An old school gangster.
After he consumed 5 whiskeys.
I'll cut you. He's got the razor out. He's got his other hand with nothing in it. I'll cut you if you get close to me. Someone just kicked him and he fell off the train.
After being kicked off the train.
I know people were smaller then, but 5 whiskeys?
He was only 150 pounds.
That's what I mean.
And they poured an honest drink on a train back then, right?
I mean, Herb is hammered after one margarita. I mean, right? I mean, Herbie smells 2 beers and he's got alcohol poisoning, so you never know.
All right, so after being kicked off the train,
Sorry, Herbie.
Delahanty started his way across the International Railway Bridge, connecting Buffalo, New York with Fort Erie. That's where my grandfather actually served at Fort Erie. True story.
We're happy for him.
He fell or jumped off the bridge. Some accounts say Ed was yelling about death that night.
Quit yelling.
Whether
I can just picture all the sound bites playing while Tannehill is doing the soundtrack to this guy's demise.
Whether Big Ed died from his plunge over the falls or drowned on his way to the falls is uncertain, but his body was found at the bottom of Niagara Falls 2 weeks after his death. A study of the tragedy appeared with the publication on July 2nd, 1903, The Mysterious Death of Big Ed Delahanty.
That's when autopsies were done on park benches. Like nothing is sanitary. It's
Later-
it sounds like this guy just drowned. We found him. Whatevs.
Was it a butterfly? Later referred to as Wet Ed Delahanty. But, he said they presented the evidence of a drunken accident, suicide, and possibly a robbery murder.
Nice!
As there were reports of a mysterious man following Delahanty.
There it is. This is quite the story. This is a murder mystery out of nowhere. You're an idiot. You are a complete ass for that.
That's what you get when you look up
Scooter
the
Gennett.
historical context of Scooter Gennett, and it leads you to the mystery of a death on a train.